So good. We'll give you some ear rubs just to make it up to you. There you go.
Rosemary called you the donkey guru.
You got this animal, you can't get near it. What do you do?
I connect with horses. I do believe they're like us. Just their presence could be so healing, whether it's trauma, special needs kids that don't learn the same way, people who are distrusting, like incarcerated people, how they can soften and change and have a new hope for life. I'm Alicia, and I'm the founder of Freedom Reigns. One of my focuses is how horses help people heal various traumas and issues. Now I'm taking it on the road.
Alicia?
Alicia,
Nice to meet you.
So glad to be here. Let's meet the horses. I'm venturing out across America to find more stories of where horses are making the difference in people's lives. Today I'm talking with author and therapeutic riding instructor Rachel, who is the founder of Hee Haw Halfway House, a donkey rescue that is on a mission to rehabilitate and rehome donkeys. So can you tell me how you got started even rescuing the dogs? I know you've been doing this for a long time, but
So I've been doing this for about 12, 15 years now. I've sold over 750 books
Wow.
in the last year.
That's impressive.
And that just tells you how little information there is out there on donkeys, that it's had such a good reception. And when I got my first donkey that had picked up a goat, orca style, and flipped it in the air, thankfully the goat was okay. After I trained him, I started to get this reputation because I'd be riding him out in public. And so people would see me riding down the road and say, hey, I got a donkey that needs to do that. How'd you do that? And so then they'd get my number and I'd go and I'd train their donkey. And then somebody else would say, hey, I heard from somebody that you did this. And so then I trained that one. And then other people started saying, hey, I heard you take donkeys. And I went, wait, what? And they're like, well, I've got this one that really needs, and I'd be, okay, fine, I'll take it. And then I'd retrain it and rehome it.
About how many animals do you think you've rehomed?
I've rehomed, well, officially in the rescue, it's been about 30 in the last year and a half.
And how long did you train them before they got rehomed? Was it like a year program, or
It really depends on the animal. Sometimes it just takes me a couple weeks, really, to get them ready to go. If they really are pretty well trained already, some of them are here for months, but not any longer than 6 months usually, unless they're a sanctuary animal that stays.
So you received some big news the other week. We're happy to celebrate with you. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I just officially got my 501c3 status for Hee Haw Halfway House, Donkey Rescue, and Education. And that way I can, receive grants and donations in order to help more donkeys and more people. And that's really, really special to me.
So what's your vision? Is anything changing or evolving with it, or do you see it growing, or what's the next step?
My hope is for growth. So right now I only have 3 acres here. So my hope eventually is to find somebody who would be really willing to let me have use of an equestrian facility where I could have a little bit more freedom to take in more animals that maybe have different needs and can't all be together in a paddock. So I can have separate paddocks with separate shelters, and I can really cater to each animal's needs. I would really like to be helping out more donkeys. So I'd like to be able to ship in donkeys from other places that don't have the need here in Colorado. There are quite a few people who want donkeys in Colorado, and there's quite a few people who don't in other states. If I was able to bring in more animals, that would be amazing, and especially if I could have a staff to help as well with that. That's my long-term vision.
So it's to grow the number of rescues that you could have.
It's to grow them.
Grow the program. Would you
Yes.
continue working with kids under the Hee Haw Rescue?
Yes, so I would love to do that. I actually have several volunteers right now that are veterans that come out, and so I really love working with the veteran population as well. And I think that these animals can be really healing for those who have been to war and have PTSD and other problems. And so that's been something that is a big passion of mine as well.
So can you walk us through the Ambassador Outreach Program?
We have a program here at Hee Haw Halfway House called the Ambassador with the ASS capitalized outreach program, and we have 2 miniature donkeys, Don and Juan. They're very young, so they came to me when they were yearlings, and one is 2, the other one's nearly 2 now. And so they won't finish growing until they're 5 to 7 years old. So they're still babies. So I've trained them to get on the trailer. They go into public. They actually wear little outfits, right? So they've got their work clothes that they wear that outlines who they are. And on the other side of their outfit, they actually carry little business cards that have information. It has their name, it has their picture, information about the rescue, and then on the back it has information about donkeys. They can go in stores. So we've actually brought them through Tractor Supply. They've been at the local grocery store. Like, we bring them all over the place. They attract people to them, and then that opens up a conversation. So in that way, we're bringing that awareness of these animals that are just, there's so much ignorance about, to the public.
Can you see your ambassador minis going into places to help, you know, people like, say, in nursing homes? Or could you see that being a part of people just having that connection with a donkey that they've never had a connection with a donkey before?
Exactly, yes. So that's going to be something hopefully this winter that we'll be doing. And they're super safe around wheelchairs, they're safe around walkers. We've tried them with a whole bunch of different adaptive equipment, and so they're totally fine with all that. In fact, they can be led from a wheelchair as well. We've done that.
That's cool.
Yes, it's really neat. The other thing that I run into mostly in the rescue work is, beyond people not understanding how they think, is not understanding how to care for them. So they are feeding them like horses. They're putting them out on lush pasture. They're ending up with donkeys with fat pads and fallen over crests, and that's not normal. They shouldn't have that. They shouldn't be rounded like a horse on their back. Even down to the fact that their hooves have to be trimmed differently than a horse's. They're very different.
Rachel has used her donkeys and her love for donkeys to work with kids with disabilities, and that's impacted their lives.